Right, welcome back to the Average Fan Podcast. My name's Sabri. Today I've got two guests with me. I've got Shardy, my brother, and his friend Daniel Axelrod. And we're going to talk around a few of the topics that are hot today, such as the England squad lineup for the friendly game. We're also going to talk to both of them about their opinions on the England squad itself, England manager, what the thoughts of Thomas Tuchel are, and we'll just see what goes from there. So thanks, guys, for joining me today.
Thanks for having us on.
Fantastic.
Cheers,
So let's just start with England squad. What are your thoughts on Tuchel's England squad?
I think for me, it's probably had too much press. And I think having these bigger squads is what's causing the issue, really, because the reality is, if it was a 21 or 23-man squad like it used to be, they wouldn't have named some of the players that have been named. And I think what makes the omissions bigger is obviously who you're then comparing it to. So it's like they've gone Dan Burn over Harry Maguire and Jed Spence over Luke Shaw, that sort of thing. But I think those players are probably going to see little football, but clearly you've got to name someone. And I think what Tuchel's tried to do is not name players that he's not going to play, but are going to create the headlines if they're not playing. Because the reality is you can't take Cole Palmer and Phil Foden, not play them and it not hit the press. Whereas Jed Spence doesn't play or Dan Burn doesn't play, well, no one's going to mention it. And I think that's probably actually what these bigger squads cause is, you know, who your 15 or your 16 you really want to play are. So actually you're then just sort of filling people for the sake of naming players. That's sort of my opinion on it, really.
Do you think that was part of the problem last time then with some of the players who were notably absent in the squad? People like Gordon didn't get played, and people said at the time he probably should have been played.
It's a bit like Trent, though, isn't it? So, like, Trent's not in the squad, so now he's just not in the conversation. Whereas, it's like Dan was saying, as soon as Trent's not playing, people are questioning it. Oh, why isn't Trent playing? Or you should be bringing Trent on at, I don't know, after a certain amount of time, or Trent could have changed the game, or he's not there. So it just removes that conversation, doesn't it? It removes the pressure, really. I think.
Do you think it also changes the different options? Because if he's clearly quite an integral player that you'd build a formation around, if he's not there, do you think it opens up the door to different types of formations, different types of play? Do you think we're too locked into one type of...
I think because you're only going to... Let's say if we have an amazing tournament and we get to the final, which I'm not convinced we will, but if we do, it's 8 games in 6 weeks. You're not going to really change too much in that time. I mean, most of these players are used to playing twice a week, all week, every week. And the reality is actually in a World Cup, they play less per days than they would do in the height of the season. I mean, if you take March, April, May, the games per day will be a lot more than they're playing in a World Cup. So
yeah, good point.
For me, you have 15, 16 players, and you can probably predict who those 15, 16 players are. You'll also likely have won the group or be qualified by the second game of the group. So then you end up resting most of them for game 3 anyway. So you actually then look at it, there's probably 5-6 games he's got to focus on in a 5-6 weeks period. He'll know who his squad is. Barring injuries, he'll know who he wants to play. So what's the point of bringing people that aren't going to be part of that? And it was
you think he's actually definitely got a squad that's named then? You don't think he's going to deviate from that based on what he sees in the group games?
Yeah. I think he knows his 11 pretty well. It will just, like Dan said, it's 15 or 16. So there'll be 4 or 5 players that he'll probably switch in and out a little bit, maybe. For the most part, it will be the same team most games, I think.
He's made mention of the fact that players like Bellingham are still fighting for their position. Do you think that's just to take the heat away from the players, or just to give the players a bit of a kick up the backside to make sure they're, on the toes, so they feel like they're still fighting for the position when they probably are still in. Yeah,
I don't think any player should be like a dead cert in the starting 11 anyway. Even though you always have a few. It's obviously going to be Harry Kane. It's obviously going to be Declan Rice, Pickford or whatever. But it's like, yeah, I don't think it should be a given that Bellingham's going to start. I still think he will, but if it is Rodgers, I'm actually not that bothered, to be honest. I think Bellingham will come into it throughout the tournament anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the players know he's got that roam in him. So had it been someone like Gareth Southgate saying, "Oh, I'm not too sure," the players will probably think, "Well, we know you haven't got that in you." Like the reality is, you're going to pick on reputation because we're bigger than you. But the reality is, there's probably barring Jude Bellingham with what he's won, no player that's bigger than Tuchel. And the reality is, he's got a CV that they would only dream of having, and he is the boss. So I think when he says something, it is a lot more likely to ring home that, God, he could actually drop me, as opposed to Gareth Southgate, you just knew was always going to play a certain way with a certain stable of players.
Do you think some of the players are looking at Thomas Tuchel in a different way to Gareth Southgate, as in he's achieved more than Gareth Southgate, maybe have more respect for him as a manager?
Well, I mean, he's by far a better manager. There's no debate in that. I mean, he's probably the second best manager at the World Cup after Ancelotti. I'm trying to think who else is on the international scene that would get close.
Yeah, because often international managers aren't the famed managers anyway, are they? They're not the ones who've won all the trophies in sort of club football. It's a bit rare, actually, that you've got Tuchel and Ancelotti in the tournament. So I think, yeah, he definitely commands more respect than Southgate did. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think when you compare the other team that's done it, I think Brazil are very much like us, where actually, if you take forget Brazil as a history, you take Brazil at the last 25 years, they've been really disappointing. Do you know what I mean? They haven't. When was the last final they got to? Was 2002. I don't think they've even got anywhere close to that since, except the home World Cup where they lost 7-0.
They lost 7-1 or something, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at
I think the two teams that have probably had the teams to go further and not are the ones that have gone for the Hollywood managers.
Let's have a quick look at our England squad just to remind ourselves who's actually in the squad. So we've got Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, James Trafford as the goalkeepers. Obviously, I'm sure it's going to be Pickford who's picked throughout the tournament. Defenders: Dan Burn, Marcus Gahey, Reece James, Konza, Livramento, Nico O'Reilly, Kwanzaa, Jed Spence, and John Stones. What are thoughts on
starting back for the first game?
Yeah, because I think the lineup is made for tonight is James, Konza, Stones, O'Reilly. Do you think?
Yeah.
What he names tonight will be the back
tonight doesn't start next week.
I'm not. See, I did hear something about the fact he was going to play Stones in both of these friendly games because Stones has had so little game time. I don't know. I'd be surprised if Gay doesn't start. I thought it'd be Gay and Konsa.
So the lineup tonight is, from the looks of it, is Pickford in goal, James, Konsa, Stones, O'Reilly, Anderson and Rice, Madueke, Bellingham, Gordon, and then Kane up front.
Yes, maybe Saka in for Madueke, I'd probably say.
Maybe Rashford in for Gordon, because he seems to be liking Rashford. I don't know. I would have thought maybe Gay in for Stones, but maybe not.
And what? Obviously, we've got notable absences from the squad. We've already mentioned. Did we mention Maguire just a minute ago? We've got Harry Maguire's missing. Morgan Gibbs-White's missing. Foden. What are your thoughts on some of the absences?
I think the only one who could feel hard done to is Maguire. But that said, as a fourth choice centre back, are you going to really make all the difference anyway? Because he's not getting in ahead of Stones, he's not getting in ahead of Gay, and he's not getting in ahead of Konsa. So again, when you're looking at all Harry Maguire can play as a centre back, would you take someone who actually can fill in multiple positions? You probably would. I mean, I certainly think Maguire's better than Dan Burn, but realistically, if neither are going to play, but it's better to have a centre back that can play left back than a centre back that can't, then I dare say that's probably what's made the decision. Because the reality is, it's going to be two of the three, Konsa, Stones or Gay. For me, it's like a non-starter. That it's going to be any other two pairings anyway.
I know what you mean. But I do think as well though, Stones has barely played all season, so he was probably feeling like he was in ahead of Stones and Burn. Yeah. End of the day, that one was harsh. Yeah, he wasn't going to start. I don't think it matters too much. And then Gibbs White, he was unlucky, but again, he barely featured in the England squad. Was Tuchel really going to bring him in at the end? Probably not. It's a bit of a shame, though. I would have liked to see him in the squad.
I think a lot of Forest fans have spoke to, so they've looked at it purely on a stats basis that he's the most goals, most assists for any English player in his position. Yeah. Does it even mean anything? Does stats mean anything, do you think, to Tuchel? Or is he looking at this as a team and saying this is the best team that plays in front of me? Or is he saying I need this player because of what he's done statistically on paper throughout the previous season?
I mean, for me, I think he's looking at it that those stats are going to be exaggerated based on Gibbs White is everything for Forest, whereas you look at a Jude Bellingham who's got obviously best players in the world around him. You aren't comparing apples and pears when you're a big fish in a relatively small pond. And obviously, we're all Nottingham lads and love to see Forest do well. But yeah, being a number 10 for Nottingham Forest versus being a number 10 for Real Madrid or Chelsea, Man United, whatever the team may be, is you are going to have more stats. You'd hope so. And if, let's say, he wouldn't even be in the conversation if his stats were the same.
It's a good point.
Who was the other player you mentioned?
So Phil Foden.
Yeah, I mean, he's just not been good enough. I don't think. I've not even heard many complaints about him not being in the squad. I think initially media made a bit of a big deal about it, but anyone I speak to is like, you can't take 4 or 5 number 10s. You've got Bellingham, you've got Rodgers, you've got Eze, you can play there. He wasn't going to take it. Palmer missed out. Gibbs White's missed out. Like, he couldn't take 5 players in the same position. So yeah, I think that was fair.
Do you think this is an easier decision than back in the day when we used to have who was the 3 players we had that were always trying to fit them in the same place?
Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes.
Yeah,
that old debate.
We're going now.
Yeah. What's the other thing I was going to talk about?
I think you saw Ian Wright this morning on Stick to Football. He won the Golden Boot and still didn't make the squad. You know, you say crazy, the stats matter or not. Well, I mean, that's the same as, do you know what I mean? Haaland not making the Norway squad, or Harry Kane when he was Golden Boot winner. I mean, you win the Golden Boot and you don't get called up. That is
it's crazy.
I don't think it's something new. It is, if your face doesn't fit or you're not the system player that the manager wants, you're not going to get in. It's as simple as that. I think it comes down to... Who
was the manager when Ian Wright missed out then?
What one was he on about? 98?
If it was 98, was that
90,
Venables?
I think it was, I think 90, it was Italian 90.
So who would that have been?
Italian 90 and then you'll know 92.
Bobby Robson then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, you'd be so good, wouldn't you? You'd surely think you're a shoo-in. Golden Boot, that's me. My name on the ticket for definite, and then not getting in.
Yeah, but then, back then, though, think how many strikers we had. We used to have about, 7, 8 like quality strikers, didn't we? But now there's literally just Harry Kane.
Yeah.
So if you look at who went instead of him, obviously the stats would probably be harsh, but then who would it have been? Like, who did you say was 90?
Yeah, I think it's 90, wasn't it?
So, like, Lineker, Shearer. Would Shearer have been that? In fact, it can't have been 92, can it?
92, I think it was. I think it was your
I mean, yeah, if you look at who went instead of him, I bet the players are unbelievable as well.
Yeah. Because
what do you reckon?
Obviously, we didn't qualify. That was the last time we didn't go.
Then 96
Euros.
Yeah.
Which was still Bobby Robson 96? I think it was. Could be wrong.
I think it was Terry Venables, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah. Terry Venables, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I personally don't think there's anyone that you can argue like should be there that isn't there, and it's an absolute travesty. I think there's been a lot bigger omissions over the years than we are where we are today. I actually think, well, the core 16-17, I think every single England fan would agree with, and that's the 16-17 you've got to go and try and win the World Cup with.
So you're quite happy with the squad then, the squad choice?
Yeah. I don't think it's good enough to win the World Cup, but I think it's the best we've got. Yeah, I mean, considering where we're at.
I think overall, happy with it. The only one I actually think is a bit strange is that he's taken Nico O'Reilly and Jed Spence as the left backs. Seems a bit strange. Jed Spence is right forwards. Nico O'Reilly's barely played for England. It's sort of his breakout season, really, or proper breakout season.
So that's one of the players who I didn't really recognise in the squad. He's a Man City player, is he?
Who?
It's a Nico O'Reilly. I didn't really recognise him in the squad. He's someone I'm not too familiar with. He's a Man City player, is he?
Man City. He's had a really good season for Man City, and he had a decent season the season before, but he's not played much for England. I don't know. It's a bit like to not take Luke Shaw with him, or maybe even Lewis Hall, or even Miles Lewis-Skelly when he came in. When Tuchel came in, he was loving Miles Lewis-Skelly. I don't know. To then take Jed Spence, who's right-footed, as your second left back. Don't know. That was the only one where I thought I'd have definitely taken one of them three, I think, instead. But
he's the one that can play both sides, though, and again, that's what goes into the thinking.
Maybe.
Because
and he does.
You've got
like
Reece James who could break down at any minute, and if you're not going to take Trent, which is clearly made clear he's not going to, who else are you going to put right back?
Yeah. Well, who's he got? Is it Livramento? Is the one, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm all right with the squad, to be honest.
So where do you see England's chances then? You're not too confident for us getting... I mean, I'm guessing you think we'll get out the group stage, probably to round of 32, round 16.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it is just look at the draw in the sense. I think the reality is you're not going to have shocks in the group stages this time round. I mean, with some of the countries in it, like if you're not getting in that 32, then you have got to be pretty terrible.
I think the thing as well is it extended the third place to 8 teams out of 12. So pretty much 75% of the teams are qualifying for the next stage, which is mental.
But I think where we're quite unlucky is we hit a group winner in the last 16 straight away, which usually you get group winners obviously in the quarters. So if I'm not mistaken, we could get, is it potentially Norway last 32 and then Mexico in Mexico City?
Mexico 16. Yeah.
And then Brazil
Mexico
in the last
16, then Brazil. Yeah. And then Argentina after that.
I'm sure I read it would be Mexico in Mexico.
Yeah, in Mexico.
Yeah, it is, Mexico City, yeah. And that's good. You've got altitude, heat, and home crowd. Well, I think the thing is that we've just been so lucky with draws recently, and I know we can say we've got 2 finals, a semi and a quarter, but the reality is we've still yet to beat one top opposition on top of the game. We beat Germany in Euro 21, but they were beating Germany.
That wasn't proper Germany, was it? Yeah.
No. And we haven't beat one major nation realistically since. I'm sure, I don't know how today this stat is, but I think I'm pretty confident in saying the last time we beat a major nation in the knockout stage pre-Germany 21 was Germany in 66. It's like something ridiculous like that. But if you look at the major European nations, we haven't beat any of them in a knockout game in a tournament for 60 years, pretty much.
Would you count the Netherlands? And then we beat them in Euro 96. I mean, they've never won anything, have they? So, they won the Euros. They've won a World Cup. But we do always fall down against the big nations, don't we, every time?
Yeah.
So, but this is why I got Tuchel, isn't it? Tuchel's meant to be the guy that will get us through these games. So,
that's it.
I do think we're slightly overlooking our group, or everyone, like the media is, and I think it's probably because of the third place thing. But I don't think Croatia are pushovers. I don't think Ghana are pushovers. It's only Panama, really. So I'm not concerned we won't go through, but I'm not. Everyone seems to be like, we'll win the group. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Let's see how we go. Hopefully, obviously we coast through it, but
I'm pretty certain when I looked at the different outcomes, if we finish third in our group, I'm pretty certain we could potentially face Portugal if they win their group. So I know you had Portugal as your favourite to win, didn't you, on your predictions?
Well, I just basically I was just avoiding putting Spain or France, to be honest. Right. If you ask anyone to Spain or France, I thought it's not very interesting, is it? If literally everyone is just predicting the same team. So I thought I'd just go for someone different. But I don't know if you've looked at Portugal's squad, but it's absolutely stacked. But only
is it?
The only way it falls down is probably up top, and that's obviously they've still got Ronaldo, but there's a lot of talk about whether he actually hinders them nowadays.
Well, I've put in my prediction that they were going to be the biggest flop, because I've just thought, because I've just looked at Ronaldo over the last couple of seasons, and it's like his ego is just so big that the team, it's basically like it's Ronaldo's team, isn't it? And I think, is this going to be the year where it just hinders them so much that they can't even get out, past themselves? It'll get to maybe the round of 32, round of 16, and it's just so focused on him and being his World Cup, and he needs to win this World Cup, that it actually becomes a problem. And I thought, I'm going to put them as... But I mentioned this to Ryan at work today, and he said, "Are you having a laugh? Have you seen their squad?"
Yeah,
I was like, "I've not really looked past the point of it being Ronaldo," and I thought
their squad is unbelievable in midfield and defence. It's just up top, really, which is not as good as some of the other nations like France, Spain, England, or whoever.
The what's next? I was asked the thoughts on Gareth Southgate. Obviously, I know we've briefly mentioned him earlier. Do you look at Gareth Southgate's tenure and think that we achieved more than we could have under anyone else? Or do you think he's led us to a certain point, and now obviously the torch has been handed over to someone like Thomas Tuchel, and he'll be able to finish the job? Do you think he did enough when he was manager?
I think the Italy one's the one you'll never get over. They've proved they've not been a great side. They haven't qualified for both World Cups since that. Can you imagine if England won the Euros that night and then we didn't qualify for the next two World Cups? Like, there would be riots on the street. So, it shows how poor a side they were, and we just didn't capitalise it. I think the Qatar World Cup, it was a 50-50 game against one of the best teams around. That was actually, I think, his best result in a big game. I actually think he came across better than he did getting into the finals of the other tournaments, to be fair, because the last Euros was horrendous. It's dead easy to say we got to the final, but every game bar the semi-final, we were
the Netherlands game. Yeah, we were absolutely awful that whole tournament. Yeah, I thought that France game in the last World Cup, we were actually the better side. I think that's probably the first time we've been knocked out and actually thought we were the better team in the game.
Yeah.
Like, we actually deserved to win that game on merit, as opposed to, there's always something controversial. Normally when we were growing up, it was like a penalty, a red card, or it went to penalties or something. But that game, I guess in that game, Kane missed a penalty, didn't he?
Yeah.
But I just thought we were the better team that time. So we're a bit unlucky, really. But
do you think sometimes it is a case of luck, though, that gets you through? Because I think, if I remember rightly, Portugal won the Euros, and they played shocking pretty much the whole tournament, and sometimes it just takes one game.
They didn't win a game in 90 minutes or something.
What, just kept going to extra time and
penalties? I think they drew their 3 games in the group or something, and then they kept going to extra time and penalties, and then it was the same in the final, wasn't it? I'm sure they didn't win a game in 9 minutes. Maybe I'm wrong.
I remember we having the discussion afterwards, saying it was such a shocking performance game to game, and how on earth have they won the Euros? But then you think, well, could the same be said to them, that the same be said about them, that they haven't really played particularly well, but they still won it at the end of the day? And there's too much criticism put on someone like England? You think, well, we've still got to a semi-final, still got to a quarter-finals or a finals.
At least we were getting to the finals and stuff, because obviously we hadn't even got to a final in our lifetime, had we? I think he did well, and he obviously brought all the harmony to the squad and all that. He stopped all the groups, didn't he? It was like Man U sitting together, Chelsea sitting together, all that stuff. It was funny, I actually spoke to my mate about this today and was saying, I don't know how he got knighted. Like, I think he did really well, but
that
how on
just
earth
sums up everything that's wrong with this country. Reward for just participating. So
if instead of giving him an OBE or whatever the other ones are, but like, to knight it for not winning a tournament, it's a bit like, it almost takes away from what Sir Alf Ramsey did. It's like, that guy actually won a World Cup, and then you're giving it to him just because he got to a couple of finals. I still think he did well.
Do you not think they were in a better position now as supporters, because we actually have expectations of the country when we don't get further than the semi-finals or the quarterfinals, whatever, we're saying, well, we should have got to the semi-finals, we should have got to the finals, and it's because of the job that he did that has instilled more confidence, more expectation, more drive as a fan base to say we actually should be winning these tournaments. Whereas if you go back 15, 20 years ago, I don't feel like we were ever saying that. We were saying, why aren't we better? But we weren't saying we should have won that.
I don't know. I think the sort of post-golden generation pre-Southgate, yes. But I mean, that was a 4 to 6 year period where from not qualifying to Euro 2008 to like World Cup 14, we just had a bad squad, realistically. You had sort of Rooney finishing the end of his pomp and sort of hanging on. The tail end of the golden generation. For me as a kid growing up, from sort of France 98 feels like the first World Cup I remember. Like, we should have gone further in that. Obviously, the sort of Argentina game. World Cup 02, like, we were unbelievable. Like, you look at the squad and that Ronaldinho goal knocks us out. And then sort of World Cup 06, that was, again, penalties, Portugal, golden generation. So, I mean, I think, to be fair, Southgate had an easy job based on expectations that got that low. And I compare it to the Man U job right now. Do you know what I mean? Carrick is lauded because he's not third. And it's like, you compare it now because for the last 5 years, we've been awful. Well, if you'd have said that 10 years ago off the back of the Fergie era, you'd have got sacked if you finished third. Let's be blunt. And it's almost like I've heard with Man City, like Maresca and that, and it's almost like there's going to be a bit of a lull post-Pep. Well, that won't be accepted. Like, if he thinks just getting top 4 is going to be okay based on the fact of he's never going to be as good as Pep, it's not how elite sport works.
Yeah, it's a good point, that. So what do you think of the ticket pricing for this tournament? Have you been to any of the previous tournaments before?
No, I'm not.
I've only been to Euro 2016.
I was trying. Was it Euro 2016?
Yeah, which is mental because that's 10 years ago. What on earth?
Oh, I thought it was more recent than that.
No, it was 2016 in France. I mean, I can't remember what we paid then, but it was probably about 80 quid for a ticket. I think it was Belgium, Italy.
Because is that Lyon. When I think Pete had some tickets? Is that the one?
Yeah, so our brother-in-law,
2016.
He got tickets to, I can't remember what he went to, some other random game. I mean, the tickets for this World Cup, I mean, everything about this World Cup sounds like an absolute farce, doesn't it? Like, I've even the whole thing about FIFA have done their own ticket resale platform.
Yeah, first time they've done that.
There's no limit on it, and basically they take 15% from the seller and 15% from the buyer. So if it sells for 20 grand, they get a massive cut, and it's it's an absolute joke. To be fair, I mean, it sounds like it's priced a lot of fans out of going. So,
have you even priced up going to this tournament?
No, to be fair, I feel like, when it was announced 6-7 years ago, I'm like, I'd love to be in the States, and I love going to America. But you almost feel like it's just come around dead quick. I was like, oh, but that's the World Cup already. I don't know if it's just because of, like, obviously the whole post-COVID thing has got pushed back. Obviously the Qatar World Cup was in the winter. But it feels like this World Cup's just come out a lot quicker. And it was like, mentally in my head, I was always going to go to it. And then before I know it, it's actually 2026 now, and I've done zero planning, and there's no budget to go, and it's like, just feels it's come around dead quick. I don't know if everyone else has thoughts. It's just like, feels like
this. It would have been right up your street, Dan. I'm surprised you won't go in. You're always in America.
I think, unlike any other tournament I've ever priced up or just looked at how achievable it might be, it always had sort of like, you'd think, it might cost me a couple of grand, and you start factoring everything, flights and whatever else, tickets, food, and travel and whatever else. This one doesn't seem to have a cap. Like you said, there's no, people are charging whatever just for the tickets. And then that's on top of all the America prices, because you go to America and they just, everything's supersizing it in price. And they'll take opportunities wherever they can. So obviously they know it's the World Cup in their country, so everything's inflated in price. You think, well, you can't even budget for that, because you can't plan thinking, well, it's going to cost around 2-3 grand, because it just seems to have escalated and spiraled to insane figures. There's that guy you told me about, the Scottish guy who was going over to watch Scotland. Did you send me that on TalkSport?
It was on TalkSport, wasn't it? Yeah,
he said his whole trip's cost him £10,000.
Yeah, but then they took his
his visa away. Yeah,
yeah. So
but even if he'd got over there, £10,000 is. Do you not think that's like a mad figure to be going and watching your country?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the reality. Is American sport. I don't think that's, and I don't think anybody likes FIFA, but I don't think that's FIFA saying, so we're just going to rip people off. That is just America. I mean, I don't know if you saw, obviously, the NBA Finals at the minute. What tickets going for Madison Square Garden? Like, it's like 15 grand a ticket for a like 48-minute like game of basketball. Do you know what I mean? I just think that is just America. It is just the land of supply and demand. You've got,
but with FIFA did
more
say
billionaires there than anywhere in the world, and it's just the way they work. And I think sport is just expensive there. I mean, I think an NFL ticket, just a regular fan, is like 400 quid a ticket, something stupid like that. So
yeah, that's crazy. Thing is, though, is FIFA did say that their expected profits for this tournament is double what it was from Qatar.
Yeah, I mean, so which they're obviously chuffed about.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I mean, obviously, not to be the boring business person, though. There is how many more games, how many more teams. So you would expect there to be a big increase in profits based on you've got 16 more nations going and all the federations, the cost of things like that. I think, and again, it always should be free to air, but nobody probably factors in the fact broadcasters aren't paying stupid money because they don't have to with things like World Cup. So when actually you look at it from a commercial on, the reason sort of English football teams still have fairly cheap tickets. I mean, I'm United season ticket holder, and it's like 38 quid a game. It's because of the TV revenue. They actually don't really care what they make on the gate. They care, obviously, on what they put on the pitch because that's what the broadcasters will pay. And obviously, I think with the World Cup, obviously, it's more sponsorship than broadcasting, isn't it? And then it's what drives all of that. So, yeah, I think it's the way of the world. You're never going to sort of stop that, especially when you put something on in a country like America. I mean, let's face it, you look at the last few World Cups, Qatar and Russia, who's going to pay a lot of money to go to them places? Do you know what I mean? We do live in a capitalist country and supply and demand. It's like so many people fly to America just because you take the Scots having a month in Miami. It'd be absolutely unbelievable. Like nobody was flying to Moscow to have a month in Moscow up, were they? Do you know what I mean? It's like you're going solely for the football. So if you don't drive down ticket prices, you're not going to get the tourism. Whereas obviously America, they're going to get the tourism even if no one goes and watches a match.
Do you think they are going to get the tourism though? Because a lot of hotels have said they actually have lower hotel bookings than last year when there was nothing World Cup related. So it does seem like there's a lot of people who actually have been avoiding making plans to go to America, even outside of football.
I did see something about, isn't it, that FIFA basically book out a load of hotels, and they book a load of them, and then they basically try to sell them, and then they've not, so they've just released them all back to the hotels. So all the hotels are like, what? Wow, we've got all these rooms now that aren't sold. I mean, yeah,
I think as well, though, with America, you will have a lot of people doing a touring holiday. I mean, I bet Winnebago rentals are absolutely through the roof because it is that sort of country where you just get in a car and drive, and like you'll never get lost or be far away from something.
Yeah, good point. It's a massive country. It's crazy the different climates that the players going to experience across the country. It's mad, isn't it? It's such a big country. Yeah. Have you seen the different turfs that they're having to put in across the different pitches as well? Yeah, I'm sure I read somewhere there's 6 different variants of grass that are being used amongst all the different pitches, just to make sure they have the correct playing experience that FIFA have stipulated needs to be in place. But then they're all being put on top of NFL pitches, which you don't have the risk of potential injuries, because I'd read somewhere that I think it was the Spurs ground, and is it Real Madrid that also have sliding pitches, that more injuries have been
They've had loads of
amongst those
ACLs,
players than any other teams. So on top of being the heat issues, these pitches and the different climates that the players are going to have to play across the tournament, it could be crazy.
It'll be interesting come the end of the tournament. If there's been a shitload of ACLs gone or something, then you do wonder. But I guess until that happens, we'll have to see, won't we? But yeah, they obviously don't look as good as some of the normal pitches that they play on. But
no,
yeah, they help England just to go Route 1.
Any things you guys want to talk about? Any?
Well, Dan said.
I mean, I think it does anticlimax at the minute, but I think.
Oh, really?
And I know Charlie said I think people are overlooking the group. I've sort of feel like I'm going to be excited in 2 weeks when it almost feels like you've almost having pre-season friendlies and then the World Cup's going to start halfway through.
It is a weird one, isn't it? Because the amount of teams we've got means that we're actually not going to play for another week. So although the game, the official tournament starts tomorrow on the Thursday, we're not playing until Wednesday. So we've got to wait almost an entire week before we're even involved in the World Cup, which is such a strange feeling.
Do you think that's an advantage?
Surely we'll play, if we get to the final, we'll play more games in a smaller period of time.
Yeah, but I mean, again, you're still looking at 5 days between games. And I mean, I think climatizing is more important than having 1 or 2 days rest. I mean, having an extra week to sort of climatize to the weather has got to be an advantage to coming out the gates. I mean, I won't fancy playing Croatia tomorrow, considering how we played 4 days ago. So then would you have had to fly out earlier? Especially when you consider the Arsenal players, and obviously they haven't even touched the ball yet, have they, for England since they got in it? It's fair to assume there'll be 2, if not 3 starters from Arsenal. You factor those little wins in, I actually think it's an advantage, not a disadvantage, because by the time you're at quarterfinal, semi-final stage, everyone's on the same sort of playing field anyway. Right.
Just as an update, I'm just looking at this England score at the moment. They kicked off 15 minutes ago. Declan Rice has scored. It's 1-0 to England at the moment.
He's coming home.
So he is playing the Arsenal players.
Do you know what I do want to see this World Cup? And I know I'm wearing it. Is England playing in red? Because I feel every tournament at the minute we're playing white and we just don't ever do as well. I don't know what it is, but I just love to see England playing in red. Like, I hate to see playing in white, and it feels recently we never get to play in red.
Yeah, it's funny. It's the home shirt. It's the white shirt.
Yeah,
but I'm sure we had a home shirt that was a red shirt before.
No, so we won the World Cup
in red, but I'm sure.
Ironically, we were the away team in a home World Cup final.
So it's so. I mean, I don't know. Shardy's told you I've got every England shirt pretty much that exists, and I'm sure I was looking through my collection not too long ago and looking at one and thinking, is that the home shirt? Is that the away shirt? But it was a red shirt, so I'll have to try and figure out which one it was.
I mean, you can see them all behind us.
Yeah. But I much prefer the red shirts.
They're all behind you.
It's what?
Because we've always, I think for a lot of years, have we had white as home and blue as away at Euros?
Yeah, it seems to be, doesn't it? Is that a thing? Did they do that on purpose?
Oh, is that the... Yeah, I've never noticed that.
Thing, but it definitely seems to be the theme they've gone with for the last 10, 20 years. Because the last 2 Euros
Euro 2012 was definitely
blue.
Oh, no, it wasn't Euro 2016. Euro 2016 was red.
What a good spot. I've never noticed that.
But 2012 was definitely blue, because I remember watching the Sweden game at your house, Dan. I think we won 3-2, didn't we, that game?
Oh, yeah.
Andy Carroll.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Because I remember an Italy game where Balotelli scored past us as well in Euro 2012, was it?
Didn't we play them in the quarterfinals? We lost on penalties again.
Yeah, something like that maybe. But
no,
I just think
like it. I want that England shirt, Dan. As soon as it comes back in stock on that.
Yeah, you're wearing the latest England shirt.
Yeah.
Does yours have the same issue with the sleeves?
This one seems all right. The white one I definitely did, but it seems all right. But I think that's more.
That'd really annoy me. That would. Is that the authentic one, isn't it? Of the two.
We only do authentic jerseys in this house. Sean would tell you
that.
Yeah. What's the difference? What is actually the difference? Do you actually notice a difference when you're wearing it?
It's like Lucky Man or Nike have sold it to you.
Because the badges are different, aren't they? The badges aren't sewn on; they're printed on, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're a lot more shiny as well, and they haven't got the embroidery and stuff like that. But literally, I mean, me and Charlie have talked about this in the week. They've made the other ones that bad that you'd almost just rather not have one if you're not paying them £30.
They used to be fine. And then I got the purple one from the last Euros. Or was it last year's? Yeah. And I got it ages after. It was like I saw it on offer. I thought, I'll pick it up for that 40 quid or something. It is awful. I put it on once and I was like, no, I'm not wearing that. Shocking. And I've seen the authentic ones. I think you had it, didn't you, Dan? So much better. And it's just made me think, actually, I mean, I was never, I would always be thinking, I'm not spending £130 on a shirt, but I don't know. Now I've seen how bad the other ones are. Yeah, I think I actually want to know.
My episode did it. It's like
yesterday. There's a discount code as well. So, you ever need a discount code? Come and see me. I'll get you a discount. I actually found you this last night, so I'm going to message you. But then I think it was only 10% off at Pro Direct. Yeah, I thought you wait for 20. So we got 20% on the white, so we want 20% on the red.
One of the episodes I did, I think it was yesterday or the day before, was talking about all the kit pricing. But I get it for adults. If you buy that shirt, you're going to be able to wear it for the rest of your life. Whereas for kids, I saw that the kids' authentic shirt was £120. No, £110 for the kids' authentic shirt. Which I think
what age are we talking?
It's criminal, isn't it? Because that child will grow out of that within, that's all of them, from age 6 upwards to age 13. Like how many football shirts did you have when you were 6 or 7? Within a year or two, you've grown out, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? It is just
mad, yeah. I get, like, do you know if they sold the authentic ones just for adults and did just the stadium ones, or a slightly better stadium one for kids that was more reasonably priced? You go, fair enough. But if you notice a difference and you think it's actually noticeably different to wear and the quality's better, all the kids are going to say, no, I want the authentic one.
The difference is unbelievable. It's like, yeah. I've just got I was showing Charlotte, I just got the new Real Madrid top. And again, the difference between that. So all Adidas and all their new kits now, their badges aren't stitched on like this new sort of acrylic thing on the authentics. So I've got the new United top and the new Real Madrid top, and they both do this sort of better logo. So, when you're washing it and stuff like that, it doesn't go tatty or threaded or anything now, which is really good.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth having them if you keep. I mean, I'm somebody, we live in a football top over the summer and that, so you get your wear out of it. And actually, I think the resale market on stuff's quite good. I mean, I know you guys collect them, but I would always just sell the last top. 40, 50 quid. So it's like, mentally to me, you just paying the extra to get the new one essentially all the time.
Oh, so you actually sell your old shirts?
Yeah, always.
No way.
Yeah.
See, I couldn't
bring
myself
to them, Dan. I thought you
get rid of a football shirt.
I thought you must have them all stashed in the.
No, literally all gone. Yeah.
You're not a medium, are you?
Literally, we'll have the new one of everything, and that's it. And, I mean, it shouldn't really surprise you. I'm a bit of an idiot. So.
You're not a medium size, are you?
You are, sorry?
You're not a medium size, are you?
I am, yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
medium, yeah.
Well,
I
let me know when you...
yeah.
Let me know when you're getting rid of your England shirts.
Euro 2020, it was a triple XL, but so,
yeah, because I collect them, I really can't bring myself to spend £135 on a shirt that literally sits in a box in my loft and gets brought out.
See, that's the bit I don't get the point of. I just don't get the point of that. So,
I don't know. Just knowing I've got every single shirt, I just think it's quite a special thing. But I approached Wembley and I approached the football museum in Manchester and asked them about maybe showcasing them all. And they seemed quite interested. And then they said, yeah, you'll have to leave them with us for 3 years. So basically, you'll hand them over to us for 3 years. I said, oh, okay. And I said, are you going to actually put them on display then? And they said, oh, we'll think about it, maybe. It's not a guarantee. I said, what? And it'll just sit in a box then for up to 3 years. And he said, yeah. I was like, well, not really. No, unless you're going to guarantee to actually put it on display. I'm not really interested, because what if it gets misplaced or lost or damaged? I'd rather have it sat in my house than yours.
Have you not thought of getting them? You know, you can have the shirts on the square things and like almost tiling them on your wall.
That would be good.
There's just so many of them, and yeah, there's just so many of them. And I worry some of them are so old and worth so much money. I just worry that if I did anything like put them in a frame, it'd actually damage them, because some of the badges on them are like 50 years old, 60 years old, and the condition of the ones I've got are insane. I anyone else who's got a better collection than me, I think it'd be hard to find, especially in the condition they're in and the sizings they're in and that. So they're so precious. I think.
Well, as host of the podcast, if England win the World Cup, you've got to do a raffle to the viewers.
A raffle.
Yeah. Someone gets to pick the top of their choice of your collection.
Absolutely not. No way.
10,000 subscribers. That's what we got pushed for. Get to 10,000 subs, and you've got to give a shirt away.
You would do it.
I'd have to be a million, I think. Nah, I wouldn't. No, definitely not. Hannah, the hilarious thing is, whenever Hannah says, I say, oh, these are worth a lot of money, these are. She's like, yeah, but you'd never sell them. Oh. So it's
one day.
The
value's pointless. I was like, oh, no, you never know.
Yeah.
One day, yeah. It's a nest egg. Yeah. You talk to the wrong person to have something with sentimental value. That the minute I can earn a tenner on something, it's gone.
That's crazy. So I bet you've not even got many shirts in your collection at the moment then.
Oh, no, literally. The only top I've got I've never sold, I've never wore it, is I've got one of the limited edition Man U tops with the 3 stars on, and there's only 10,000 ever issued. So it was the 08, what everyone calls the Ronaldo kit when we won in Moscow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's got the 3 gold stars for the 3 European Cups. There's only 10,000 of them produced, and I've got one of them, and it's in a presentation box with a program from the 08 final and everything like that.
I've got one of those. I've got one of those shirts, but with the 1 star in it. So they re-released it with the 2 stars when they won it, didn't they?
Yeah.
When they won the Champions League. But there was only so many issued with the 1 star.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for a sale if you want to add to your collection. So
yeah, if you ever get rid of it, mate, let me know. I'd be definitely interested in that.
But yeah, that's the only one I've ever collected. Other than that, I don't even think I've got last year's Man U top, which will go sometime soon. Other than that, everything's latest and newest.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I do like them. I like the thought of a retro top, but I like something that's new and clean, and then off it goes to something new.
The trouble is nowadays there's that many fakes on the market. I don't know if you've been on Facebook or Instagram lately, but my feed is just absolutely filled with fake shirts.
Yeah, they just look shit. I mean, they look all right, but I think you wash them once and then that's it, isn't it?
I don't know. I've seen a lot of people who's I think we just lost Shardy for a sec. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people who've been wearing them. They actually look half decent. Some look really close to the original shirts. Trouble is, a lot of them now are the old retro shirts which are being redone. So all my collection that has a value suddenly dropping because people think they can get the same shirts for less, when in actual fact they're the fake ones.
Yeah. Well, the problem is now is obviously to do a retro one, you've got to have the supply. That's the same, because Man U have tried to do it a bit with the Adidas range, but obviously you then can't get the shirt sponsor on the front because you're not licensed to, and it's so you'll never get the originals redone properly.
Right, we've been going for about 51 minutes. Oh wow, I thought it'd be about half an hour.
I thought it was going to be like 25 minutes.
Yeah. I've been saying so far, we're going to keep these to 20-minute podcasts so far. But I guess when you've got people to talk to, there's a lot more to talk about.
Snip it up, take the best bits. So
awesome.
What platforms is it available on?
So I'm going to put this out on the YouTube channel. I've also got an Instagram account I've just created, and a TikTok account as well, which I've just been putting the clips onto. But yeah, the aim is just going to do one of these every single day, just talk about anything that's, current in the news that day. And then just every time there's an England game up, just talking about predictions for the game, squad choices, any injuries, VR controversies, that sort of thing. And I don't know, the aim is, if I can do one of these every single day, by the time the World Cup finishes, I should be 40 deep. So that way
I love how we're talking now that this isn't being recorded.
So all this
but
can
to be
get
fair, that nobody is watching this for the full 50 minutes, let's be honest. So I think you're safe anyway, Sabri.
Yeah.
If the thing you're going to struggle with is the minute England go out, just nobody's going to want to talk about football.
Who's that going on about the World Cup still? Yeah.
It's by the second week of July. It's a Wimbledon podcast.
I'll have to start getting some alternative shirts to wear. Have some France shirts in the background or something. Or
I mean, I'm going to struggle to vary it up for anything else England other than this.
I forgot to ask Dan, what's your predictions?
He's the ones I send you, Dan. I think you did answer.
So winner, who do you reckon is going to win
winner, I
the
said
tournament? Spain, okay. Worst performer, what was the
biggest flop?
What did I go? Did I go Brazil? I think I went Brazil.
And Golden Boot,
Kane.
And
Golden Ball,
Lamine Yamal.
And then the best the underdog,
Scotland.
Ah, okay.
I can't believe you said them. Do you actually think they're going to do all right?
Yeah, I actually think they are. I'm sure. I mean, because what they've got going for them is obviously they've got first game is Haiti, isn't it? Which is obviously their easy game. If they're going to win, that's the one they're going to win.
Yeah.
They've then got Morocco, and then they've got Brazil as the third game. Now, the chances are Brazil have qualified by that point. Probably won't play a full strength side. Scotland need something. But I think Scotland will play a full team regardless because it's Brazil. Whereas Brazil will be like, well, it's Scotland. We've already qualified. We don't need to play a full strength side. So I do think they'll get through the group. Bear in mind, they've never qualified from a group. That's an achievement. But then at that point, I think if they got to the last 16, that's a huge success. They could win what? I reckon if they win one knockout game, the predictions come true. I think you could say they're a good underdog story if they've got to the last 16.
Do you think getting to the last 16 is a good enough position though to say underdog?
Probably for Scotland that probably is a big enough achievement, isn't it? The thing is, I think they'll finish third in the group, which isn't saying much because of Brazil, Morocco, and then obviously Haiti at the bottom. But it depends who they get. I don't know who they'd play if they came third. but I don't think they're winning that game.
I think one of the positions.
I can see them beating Haiti and drawing to Morocco and Brazil. Not because they're as good as Brazil, but I think by the time they play Brazil, Brazil will be best in their team. I mean, most major nation will put a second string 11 out for the third group game if they qualify.
Well, yeah, true, I suppose. I'm just trying to see who they'll be playing if they.
I know that we can potentially meet them in, I think it is the last 16. If
well, I'm assuming it'd be the quarters, wouldn't it? Based on if we could get Brazil, we could also get them.
You might be right. I've done. I'd used the Telegraph's predictor where you put all the different teams in all the different positions you think they're going to finish in the group, and then it give you all the options then for quarterfinals, semi-finals. I remember seeing Scotland in one of them.
Looks like they could play the winners of Group E, which is Germany, if they finish third, or the winners of Group I, which is France.
Yeah, I think they could do that.
Yeah.
Germany, I think that they could be a big flop, but then I'm not sure it'd be a big surprise because they've been shocking for so long.
I've got Havertz as my top scorer, and it's because I think they've won 9 games in a row, and they've got Wirtz, Musiala, and Sane behind him. I just think, again, don't forget, I was trying to not use Spain or France. I don't know. I just have a feeling.
I think by that metric, you get the Kane. What did we win? 10 games in a row, and you look at who's behind him. We'll have this be on pens for Germany. Will Havertz be on pens for Germany?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
It's funny. I said
that's a big thing. It's usually 6 goals wins it, isn't it? But obviously there's an extra game now, so I'd say 7 or 8 goals will get you golden boot.
Yeah.
So you'd said golden boot Havertz, and I mentioned that to Ryan today, and he looked at me with absolute disgust. He's like, "What's Shardy on about?" He said, "Oh, Havertz is a crap player." I says, "Is he? I don't know." You tell me, and he's like, "No, that's definitely wrong."
Yeah.
And then I said to him, "What's your predictions then?" And he said, "Biggest flop, Germany." I was like, "Oh, you've really got in for Germany, have you?"
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of an out there guy. I'd say didn't want to pick the obvious ones, so I just thought, yeah.
Am I right in saying Germany haven't qualified from the group since they won the World Cup?
What in the World Cup? So would that be 2018?
Well, no, so they won it in 14, and I'm sure they went out in the group in 18 and 22.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, they've been pretty poor, haven't they?
Yeah. When the Scotland's given them a bashing in the last 32.
Just so you can say biggest underdog.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I'll be wearing a kilt by the next episode if my prediction comes true. Yeah. Forget authentic shirts. I'll have an authentic kilt with some bagpipes going in the corner just to prove my point. Yeah. As you'll realise over the coming weeks, Sabri, if it means my predictions stay true, then I'll sell my soul for the benefit. So, yeah. All principles go out the window if it's the difference of being right or not.
Well, we've been going for an hour now. Yeah, let's call it at that, shall we?
Yeah.
What's the score before we go? 1-0 still?
It's 1-0 still. Not really much commentary wise on there, I don't think. No, nothing.
Right.
Hopefully be able to get back for the second half. But yeah, appreciate guys for joining in. It's definitely made a big difference being able to talk to somebody else about ideas. Just there's so much I don't know about football, and it's great because every time I talk to Shardy or Ryan at work, I just learn an absolute load. But there's just I haven't got the time.
That'd be a good laugh for you.
You'll be a genius then, Sapper.
Yeah, he still thinks Stuart Pearce is left back for England. So
when you said Gareth Southgate, you just said, "Ew, Gareth Southbank." So you didn't
Southbank. But if you fancy
Good
coming
ones.
on again, mate, you're more than welcome. I'm probably going to try and do. I probably won't get time to do, group ones like this every single day. Just because mostly what I'll be doing is recording straight after work, just a 20, 25-minute little piece on my own. But it'd be interesting to get your thoughts and opinions after Croatia game or leading up to Croatia game, or if any of the other teams play and there's anything controversial, anything that's worth talking about. You're more than welcome to come on, mate.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sure I'll see you again.
Fantastic, yeah. Nice one. Right, I'm going to shoot.
Cool. All right, sound.
Thanks a lot again.
See you later.
I'll see you soon.
Bye.